Don't act like you haven't thought about it. We all have wondered what it would be like to just throw ourselves up on OnlyFans and make that money to fund our degree or dreams or job. And if you are one of those trolls who are just here to complain and judge people, we don't want you here. Please exit stage left. And for the rest of you who are lovely people who just want to learn more about this, today we're covering the PH to PhD pipeline. Or is it the PhD to PH pipeline? Hi, I'm Xanthi, the feral academic, and welcome to the Authentic Academic Movement, where we are feral, honest, and anti-bullshit. In today's class, we are covering a man and a woman trampled by academia who turn to adult websites to fund their PhD and academic career. First, we start with Chang Yu, a Taiwanese maths teacher who just decided to upload his math lessons on Hub. Let me tell you this. This is how much dough he was making. Every year he receives the equivalent of $350,729. Like, what? That's honestly so smart. Some of you might be thinking, oh, does he look like totally like a Hollywood star, a model, and that's why people are just watching his work? No, this is like a regular Asian man. Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Anyway, looks are not the point. It's the knowledge. Play hard, study hard. And I love how campy it is. And it's literally just him like teaching maths. I honestly wonder about like the audience and who is watching this. It's it's pretty funny because it's like, well, when people go to these websites, they have a goal in mind, right? It's usually not to learn more about calculus. With him, he didn't even really intend to do that. He was just trying to share his maths, his passion for maths. And in an interview with Mel Magazine, I didn't want to teach math on Hub. I wanted to let the world know that I'm a teacher from Taiwan who can teach calculus well.
Everyone is doing the same online courses, so this can attract the eyeballs. Teacher said that his former staff took over, so the teacher have no revenue.
So they got a different teacher and he lost his job.
It's a sorrowful story. On one hand, he is very creative that he put the videos on. The other hand is that he is very confident of his teaching, that he can teach the students very well.
Have any of those students followed you, your former students?
Teacher said yes. A lot of followers will follow the account.
What are the other platforms? Where else is Mr. Chang teaching math?
Something like YouTube, but it's for the mainland China.
What does your family or your wife or your kids think about this initiative?
He's always been a weird. He has always have a weird idea. So and for his wife and kids, they are really supportive.
你讲说还没有出现
his wife and kids he doesn't have wife and kids now.
He doesn't have wife and kids now.
I doesn't have one.
I'm single.
I'm single. Yeah.
I see. How much have you earned?
It's a little bit confidential, so maybe we won't tell it. They pay the bills, but it's not that much as the news said.
Have you ever been criticized for being on a platform that usually is associated with poor depiction of women?
Yes, there will be some people they'll be criticizing for the videos. Those people are mainly come to watch adult videos, but not for the educating videos. But there were no criticisms for the teaching strategies. They're all talking about thank you for the video that can make me pass the exams between the range of 18 years old to 34 years old. Mostly men.
What a humble guy. Anyway, Changshu had tried to upload his maths videos onto multiple adult websites, but they all kicked him off. Except for Is this a thing that they support academia? Should we, university students, be uploading our content onto PH, our research, mixing two different kinds of stimulation? He was not making any money on YouTube. And I feel like that is the case for a lot of creators. They don't make a lot. That brings us to our next person. Zara was a PhD student turned OnlyFans creator. She made headlines for uploading STEM videos onto Pornhub, earned way more than she ever did on YouTube. And it's really cool because she actually provides a breakdown blog post, which I'll link below, on a month in her life of her income and how she distributed her income through like taxes, bills. She ended up paying off her parents' mortgage and she bought a new car. She does say that she recognizes that being an OnlyFans creator can vary so much. You can make so little compared to her, or you can make so much more, like millions compared to Zara.
I've dropped out of my PhD. I've cried so much over this decision to quit my PhD, because it's a stressful decision, not that I'm particularly sad about it. Moving on to doing OnlyFans and content creation full-time, it's not just a career choice, it feels kind of like a gamble on the direction of my entire life.
I highly recommend checking out her video because she discusses her experience. A lot of people were saying that she was Pakistani, which she is not. So she did say, I believe some people are confusing me with a beautiful influencer named Zara Dar. Our Zara, with our PhD Zara, is American born and raised with a mixed background of American, Persian, Southern European, Middle Eastern, and Indian.
I made this robot that moves up and down and flaps its wings every time I get a new subscriber on my OnlyFans. I could just easily open the OnlyFans website and see my new subscribers, but let's face it, that's boring.
In the video, she talks about why she left academia. She thinks of what it would be like to be in this whole alternate life if she had pursued it. She mentions working with students on the research projects, and she would have all these fancy suits, or being a professor, researching with teams. But then the downside is that a lot of the time other people will get credit for your work, or they'll get more recognition and fame, while you're just constantly worried if you're going to be able to keep your job and be made redundant, as they say. I know this is a concern for a lot of people that work in academia. It's not the most supportive environment. She really enjoys being an independent researcher because she gets to study her own interests without pressure of publication, pressure of tenure in grant applications. And this is a question that I hear a lot of people ask as well. Should I do like research officially within the university, or should I be an independent researcher? And honestly, I have seen success in both. A lot of people feel like they might miss some opportunities as an indie researcher, but I see them in the conferences I'm in all the time. You have to figure out what works best for you. I do not know the experience very deeply of what it is to be an independent researcher, though I do know some that could be a future interview in the books. Years ago, there used to be so much more stigma around being an adult content creator. And it was so interesting to see how OnlyFans came out and then everyone's just on there. It's been so normalized. I know it's very taboo though, because in the academic field, it's not exactly encouraged that you work in adult entertainment. And I honestly feel like it's a conversation that'll be longer than what this video is. We'll move on from that, but I do say that there's a lot of unfair judgment placed on people. I'm getting off topic. Another creator who is very, very popular on YouTube is Belle Delphine, and she is not a PhD student, but she is very smart when it comes to marketing and making a living. She basically comes onto YouTube and makes all this funny content, but it's also geared towards adults. but then she just disappears for like a really long time. And then when she needs more money, she just comes back and makes her money again. And people like to throw her under the bus and say she's not legitimate. But she's making what, millions of dollars. And also, she got interviewed by Louis Theroux, who is a very, very famous documentarian, a respected documentarian in the UK and internationally, to be honest.
It's interesting in a way how easy it is to manipulate people, right? When I see Andrew Tate, he says women shouldn't be allowed to drive. I don't think he said that, but he's come close to saying things like that.
I don't think he believes that.
No, I don't think he does. And that's my point. But you think you are laughing at him, but actually he's sort of got your number. Once you've clicked on it, he's pitching to you.
Completely. Once you've gained their attention, it's all about retention at that time. I think a lot of YouTubers in particular, when they're thinking of video concepts, they're not thinking about the full video. I think they're thinking about what is a clickable thumbnail and what is a good title. Newspaper journalists, they're not thinking about the full article initially. They're thinking about what is a great title to put in my newspaper. Yeah. And then maybe they'll chase the story once they think of that clickable title. And I think that is a good way to think about if you want to make content that goes viral. Is one thing posting your first video, and there's another thing posting your first video knowing millions of people are going to see it.
How much money did you make on it?
Around 5 million.
I'm going to link that as well because that's some really, really good information. Additionally, the most impressive thing about Changshu and Zara is that they thought outside of the box. You would think that most academics would because we're all about like finding the things that aren't yet established and new knowledge. But in my short time that I've currently been in academia as a PhD student, I've weirdly experienced more people that don't want things to change and are afraid of risk. So to see like this story of them just being like, upload research on adult websites, is this the new normal? I don't know, but I thought it was pretty cool that you could think differently. I'm not recommending that you upload your research onto adult websites. However, I do admire the hustle, and I do admire that it should get your brain thinking about like, what are other ways that I can expose my research onto unsuspecting or not typical audience members? How can you do that? And that's what I find fascinating because in my own career, in my own research, my goal is to bridge the gap between academia and industry. In my case, I'm in film. I honestly find it very frustrating when academia and the film industry are so separated, when there's so many things that they could do to benefit each other in the future of film, or just the celebration of film or the history of film. And there's just constant like walls set up that they don't want to tear down, at least not yet. But I am trying. I'd like to hear about other taboo side hustles where academics are doing to fund their jobs, their research. It's a very smart survival strategy and one where you have your own agency. The fact that Changshu in particular didn't do anything other than what he's been doing. Slay. Imagine when you finish your PhD and you put in your acknowledgements, be like, thank you, OnlyFans, for funding my PhD. Honestly, that would be so iconic. I would love to see that. And also, speaking of OnlyFans, because I imagine that not everyone that uses video knows a lot about it, but I guess I should have started with that. OnlyFans is basically a website where creators can typically upload videos or photos that subscribers can download for a fee, or they can subscribe monthly for a fee. Some people charge a lot, like $100 a month, $50, sometimes like 10, but still it's a steady income. And the other thing is that it's not always adult content. There's some people that simply use it to discuss normal subjects.
Now you can subscribe to my OnlyFans, and on my OnlyFans I will be putting the BTS of the WAP music video. No, I'm not gonna be showing my titties or my pussy or my ass, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up straight up real life content shit. You guys are being mad nosy when it comes to my life.
It is, at the end of the day, a business, and you have to save for tax. And if you're earning in the top tax bracket, you get taxed 40% of what you earn.
Half your money is gone.
Half your money is gone.
That is not as well known because usually OnlyFans is known for the 18 up content. I know there's been some controversy surrounding OnlyFans for creators as well. I'm not the expert, but from my memory, they're probably like taking a cut of the creators or providing barriers that remove a bit of their agency. So, I mean, anytime creators are making too much money, these companies always try to find a way to cut them down. I mean, YouTube, like literally on this website. Do you guys remember when YouTube just came out? That was such a different time. And now it's just ads are so normal. I just remember the times where there weren't ads on YouTube, like wild, and that you could just like find videos so easily, but now it's oversaturated and everything. So that is what I came here to discuss. Let me know what you think. Would you ever consider joining an adult site just either to just upload your research or actually, you know, do your thing, make money and survive? Or maybe you enjoy it and it's fun. Said this is a judgment-free zone. Okay, so let us know. That's it for now. Please subscribe if you'd like to stay in touch. I would love to have you. It really helps a lot. Or hit like. I am wishing you a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Sending you love, hugs, and legal drugs. See you in the next video. Bye.